we'll see Matt Ryan of the Atlanta Falcons taking on Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. I'll be back at halftime with a look at games in progress. But first, we get up to Minneapolis. Standing by our guys in the booth, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. The scene a short time ago, this crowd decked out in purple, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football, folks, as the Vikings get set to do battle with the Atlanta Falcons. So happy to be with you, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis, and we thought it would never get here, but here we are back together. It's opening weekend of the 100th season in the NFL.
So much football to talk about. That's our main focus. But how about how much happened in the offseason? Rules changes. Overtime rules were discussed in a big way. Some superstars changed addresses. There's a whole lot to talk about in the NFL in addition to this game we're getting ready to watch.
The man back in purple in 2019, Dan Bailey, to get us started. And we are underway from downtown Minneapolis. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They'll be led out by the third overall pick of the 2008 draft, the man they call Matty Ice, quarterback Matt Ryan.
Always knew he'd be a gym rat, very cerebral player, a guy that beats you with his mind as well as his physical attributes. But the best part, poise under pressure. He knows how to bring a team back in the fourth quarter.
Stop your whining.
A carry for Devontae Freeman, who missed most of last season. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. From the shotgun, Ryan. Got his man, that's the Pro Bowler Julio Jones. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 11 yards there, first down. And now he's really knocking on the door for 700. That is career catch 699. Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield, incomplete. Quickly now a look at the defensive starters for Minnesota.
Harrison Smith's play has been so good in the NFL that he demands the respect of everyone. And I remember a couple years ago when we talked about the top safeties, his name didn't come up in the first group. It does now. I remember doing a game a couple of years ago where the Rams were trying a lot of razzle-dazzle stuff. And Mike Zimmer, his head coach, very much said, sick him to Harrison Smith, and he ended that in a hurry. He can play close to the line of scrimmage, can also cover deep.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 15 yards on the play, first down.
And Falcons fans everywhere excited that Devontae Freeman is back on the field wearing number 24 in the red and black. Remember, he went down. Week 2 in 2018 with an injury and didn't return. They're hoping to see the form that led him to 1,000-yard seasons in 2015 and 2016.
On first down, Ryan. And, he took that in one-handed. What a grab.
Holding offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. Julio Jones once again the intended target. And now it's second down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. The intended target was Calvin Ridley, and it's third down. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. Out come the Vikings with Kirk Cousins leading the way. Cousins surprisingly efficient in his first season as a member of the Vikings. He hit on better than 70% of his passes, second only to Drew Brees, and was actually just the sixth ever NFL quarterback to finish a season above that 70% mark. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at the 20. And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
And running back Dalvin Cook was drafted in 2017 to be the lead runner for the Vikings, and he should love what they're putting in for him in 2019. This is a run-first, run-heavy offense as dictated by their head coach. Dalvin Cook should get more than enough carries to threaten 1,000 yards rushing this season.
He lost 2 there, and it's third down. He saw the middle was closed, tried to bounce it outside. That didn't work either.
Very rarely can you bounce something that's designed to go into the middle all the way to the outside and expect to get help and get there. Usually all the blocking is there. In this case, blocking was in the middle, bounced up, stacked up. Now he was outflanked when he tried to get outside.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. That's pulled in at the 32. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Very good starting field position for the Falcons offense as they come up 1st and 10. The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. Powering forward.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. Only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Give him 30 yards there. That reception, it brings him up to the 700 plateau. He's at 700 career NFL catches now.
And that club in baseball, a rather exclusive club, and one we talk about all the time. In football, puts you in the top 50 all-time range. Not so bad either.
Looking in zone for Jones. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. Charles, he doesn't seem to be particularly in tune with his receivers, just 2 for 7 throwing the football, but he did seem really locked in before the game.
Yeah, and that was
touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones, 37 yards, and the Falcons have taken the early lead.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
On for the extra point, Giorgio Tavecchio. It's good, and that gives the Falcons a 7-0 lead. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And the end result, an Atlanta touchdown. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And out now come the Vikings. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Watch tight, tight is right. Watch tight, tight is right. Hey!
From the gun, here's Cousins. And he'll find Thielen on the right side. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still 2nd down.
A bad false start penalty there. Now 2nd and 6. Working out of the gun, Cousins. He'll find Thielen, work in the middle. 7 yards there and a 1st down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot.
There he goes, right side. A big play there out of Cook, 51 yards. So all the way down close to the goal line, good blocking up front, helped to spring it.
When this drive is over, he's got to get to the bench and sing Kumbaya with the offensive line, doesn't he? Big-time openings for him, gets him all the way down to the 2-yard line. Let's see if they can pound it in.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. Now Cousins, and that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. A 2-yard touchdown grab, and the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up. The touchdown all set up by the big play 1 snap before, but they finish it off here with a shorter completion, this time for the score.
I like how they stuck with what got them there, right? The big pass play, got the momentum going, right? That's you create it with a play like that, and you come right back with another pass play to finalize things off.
This fielded at the 2. Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And here now come the Falcons. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments. A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. The defensive end, Danielle Hunter, drops him.
Well, we knew this guy wasn't especially fleet of foot, but he tried to conjure up some escapability, but there was no way he was getting away on that one.
Now Ryan. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Anthony Barr. He's the one to get him this time, and back-to-back sacks brings up 4th down. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. Here we go on 4th down with Ryan. And this is going to be incomplete. A surprising move to go for it, predictably, at least somewhat predictably. It doesn't pay off. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. A 1st down throw for Cousins. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
On 2nd down, Cook. Able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
These two teams all tied after 1. They haven't made much of this great starting field position they had. Here's 3rd and 6. To throw is Cousins. Looking for his tight end Rudolph, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And nothing but daylight ahead. Past the 20, 10. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. He is a difference maker at the linebacker position. He had a pick six last year, remember it, but it's different for those guys, isn't it, than a corner or a safety?
It certainly is, because sometimes they're pattern reading, seeing what the receivers are doing. Sometimes they're spot dropping, just getting to a place on the field and finding the quarterback and going to the ball. But remember this, these linebackers, at one time in their life, a lot of them were running backs, and they love having the ball back in their hands and making big moves towards the end zone.
The lefty Tavecchio now to add the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. And I'm wondering if maybe they don't go away from him on this drive a little bit. He's been great, but they haven't scored a lot of points.
I think they still have to show him as a threat, make sure he touches it a few times. But as you pointed out, use him as a decoy a little bit and get the ball in the hands of some other people in order to put more points on the board. But he's done a really nice job of establishing them with his running.
Yeah, he's established himself well. Now can they put more points up? Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. And now a fumble. The ball's out. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. And you probably talked about this training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. He's got the first down and more past midfield. And he's going to get this into enemy territory at the 45. 17 yards, 1st down, Vikings.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
I remember the first time I saw Dalvin Cook play in college. I was watching him on TV, called a scouting friend of mine and said, "Who is this guy? He's special." And he said, "Dude, you watched a home run hitter on the field."
Yeah, he was special in Tallahassee. Left Florida State their all-time leader in rushing yards and touchdowns. 9 yards that time.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that first. First down, here's the run with Cook. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. They'll try to throw now. Cousins. He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
His pass caught at the 4. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. An 11-yard touchdown. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And that score and the point after will knock this ball game up.
And when you're playing from behind, all you want to do is get back to even and, in a sense, start over again. That's exactly what they were able to accomplish.
This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. A reminder coming up later tonight, the Patriots unfurl their 6 banners. They play host to their rival Steelers. And then on Monday night, it's the one weekend of the year where you get 2 games to wrap up the week. Texans and Saints from New Orleans in the early game, then Broncos and Raiders. Vic Fangio's coaching debut, and the Raiders' final season opener in Oakland. That's the late game, 10:30 Eastern. They run, Devontae Freeman. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
One of my favorite safeties in the league is Harrison Smith. His ability to support in the run game, as we just saw there, that's key, but also can cover deep as well.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Now a play fake here on first down. It's caught on the right side at Smith. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. Now the second down throw on target. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 12 yards there and a first down. Cousins on first down. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And they move this all the way down to the 9. 25 yards that time.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field, it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch it. Doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
Touching. Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. A big play to start the drive got him in this position, but this defense has held firm since, and now it's 3rd and goal. They'll throw again. Cousins. This will be caught at about the 6. Cook stripped. The ball's out, and the Falcons grab it. Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. He's at the 30, 20, 10, 5, and this is going to be brought back. It's a scoop and score for the Falcon TD. So this defense clicking early in the year, week 1, the return for a touchdown.
The organization made a concerted effort in the offseason to improve this defense. I have to say they like the early returns.
to Vecchio to add the PAT. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-14. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. An update from that game going on in the Meadowlands. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. Now we've got movement up front. And I think this is going to be on Minnesota. Oh, jumping early from his tight end spot. Maybe trying to get a jump start on that route.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right about that. And oftentimes when you see that, that means the play call was supposed to come in his direction, and he was eager to go catch a pass.
Over the middle to Smith. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. To throw again on second down. Cousins. Incomplete. Right side, the tight end Rudolph. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. Cousins now 12 of 17 through the air as he leads his guys up on first down. Cousins. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. This from 44 yards out, left hash. Bailey's kick is good, and that'll bring them back within 4. So, yes, they'll still be down going into intermission, but the deficit is now made even smaller, very manageable.
Yeah, and if nothing haywire happens here in his last couple of precious seconds, they will go into the locker room with a nice bounce in their step, having gotten a little bit closer on the scoreboard.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. Final play of the half. It's Ryan. He's going to loft one deep left side here. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. So we're at halftime here in the opener of the 2019 regular season as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome back to football, everybody. We've got a full slate of 16 games here to start the new season. So let's take our first trip around the NFL. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. Meanwhile, in our game, no shortage of offense as each team has been able to move the ball effectively. Will the defenses show up in the second half? To find out, we give it back to our commentators, Brandon Gotten and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here at half two, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. On 2nd and 7, Cousins. Over the middle, that's caught by Meredith. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. It was Desmond Trufant right there, step for step in coverage.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
This is taken at about the 14. It'll go as a 50-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So we get set to start this third quarter. Here's the Falcons offense now. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they look to add to that lead.
How about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points.
Ryan hit, and he lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And it'll be 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. A defensive-minded coach loves to bring the heat, brought the heat there, and it worked out.
And nowadays, all those defensive-minded coaches, for them, it's all about getting the football. I went into one facility, and as soon as you walked into the defensive room, there was a football, like on a spring, and each guy that walks in that plays has to act like he's knocking the ball free. They want those instincts created. They want them to think about that all the time, and that's what they try to preach.
First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. Now Cousins here on the bootleg. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Kirk Cousins with 3 touchdown passes now in the afternoon. And the Vikings are going to retake the lead.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His 2nd touchdown of the game, and they lead.
And now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
You always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back. This is caught inside the 15. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Julio Jones. Already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Falcons have once again taken the lead. They erased that deficit pretty quickly, did they not? A 2-play drive.
What do we call that? Short-lived?
Very.
Very short-lived. 2 plays later, they're in the end zone and back out in front. We always talk about drives, don't we? Does 2 plays count as a drive?
Not really, but that 2nd play was so good. I don't care what we call it. It was enjoyable to watch. Tavecchio good on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there. Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He can make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 15 yards on the play, first down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
On 1st and 10, Cousins. And Cook has it, left side. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him. Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot...
And he will score! Touchdown, Vikings! Stephon Diggs, already his second touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Vikings are able to strike for 6.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take...
Julio Jones all alone. The 20. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. Brutal, so take away the long touchdown.
It's a cruel game sometimes, partner.
After the penalty, here's Freeman. And he's got room. And all the way down to the 35.
Let's go.
A big run there by Freeman. 45 yards. Trailing here in the 3rd, and that run might just be the spark that this offense needs.
And don't you just get the sense that he's going around not just in the huddle, but looking over at the bench and saying, ball, give me the ball. Let me carry this thing home.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. Ito Smith, his first carry. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he loses a yard or 2. Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
They just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got...
And the ball is out. Jones got hit and lost it. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
Let's go.
And defensively, maybe an opportunity miss there.
No doubt about it. When that ball's out, all you're thinking about as a defender is, this is our chance to make a huge play. Instead, he's able to recover his own fumble.
And
big sigh of relief, huh?
Yeah, usually those wide receiver fumbles, there's open space around for the defense, but not there. He hops right back on it. That's complete, right around the 8. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the...
And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. Matt Ryan with now 3 Week 1 touchdowns. And the Falcons are in for 6. He doesn't need a lot of space for an electric run. He showed that there. Heck, they told us this week they were hoping he would break a big one. He just did. And
what did his offensive... I mean, remember we talked with the offensive line? And one of the guys, one of the stalwarts said, I don't even have to make a great block for him. I just breathe bad breath on the guy in front of me. Often that opens up enough space for him to go.
Extra point up and good by Tavecchio. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. And now out comes Minnesota. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory.
Touchdown, Vikings! Laquan Treadwell, 72 yards. And the Vikings are able to strike for 6. They had just given up the lead, and they get it right back.
Yeah, how about that? Answered quickly. Got right back to it, and look. Long drives have their place. We know that. They can wear teams down. But when you hit them with big plays like that, that can really be a shock to them. A big-time one.
Yeah, one play, but now your defense is probably saying, man, we could have used a little more rest over here. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now.
And Freeman lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. Room here to run. And now off to the races down the right side. And he will scope. Touchdown, Vikings. This was a close game. They needed a little breathing room. Boy, they got it right there on that return for a touchdown.
Yeah, we would say that this could be huge. Forget it. It was huge. Gave him a comfortable lead.
Extra point up and good by Bailey. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And let's just say they're going to be looking to start over on this drive. A few moments ago, they were in the exact situation, but their first play led to a fumble that was returned for 6.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a short memory to play in the NFL. You got to remember what you did wrong so you don't repeat it. But you can't dwell on it, because then you will repeat it, and that's what you don't want to do.
And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Falcons. They'll have the football, but trailing on the scoreboard as we get set to begin the fourth. Now this window is running back out of the backfield, and they're able to get this one across the 35. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game. Yes. Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Now here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. 25 yards there on the catch and run. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball, and you put up a token press. Make sure you get up there and make them eat up some time. Make it a little bit of resistance so they can't just run it right down your throat.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down. Julio Jones once again the intended target. That'll bring up second down. Throwing again. Ryan. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll be third down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense,
pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on fourth down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. They'll try and throw for it with Ryan. This one complete to Mohamed Sanu. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on fourth down. Fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. IcyAtlas's with a pick.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that was going to hurt, and in a big way.
And from the 4, they get it to the 8 on a pickup of 4. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be second and 6. Fourth quarter, holding on to a lead. Fullback carry, 3 or 4 yards. I guess that's what you're looking for.
And it just brings back memories for me because I remember my coaches in this situation. I remember one time my head coach into his headset telling the offensive coordinator, I want the big boy carrying the ball. And that's what you have in this spot. Him covering up on the ball, taking care of it, and grinding out yardage.
Throwing his Cousins. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And he's going to get forward for about 5, but that may be coming back. What say you, Mr. Referee? Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always, always making sure no one's holding.
That's complete to Meredith. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. He's been big, 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
The throw over the middle, taken in. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Offense.
That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against him.
Cook following the penalty. And space opens a bit as he gets it across the 15 to the 17-yard line. A good productive run there on first down. He winds up getting 8.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters. No reason to lighten up now. The safety, Keanu Neal, there to make the tackle. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now Cook. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a fourth down.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive could take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Taken in at the 22. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. So Ryan and the Falcons down by 10. A minute 14 to go. They'll need a score here and also likely an onside kick recovery. But first things first. 1st and 10. Trying to get that in the hands of Devontae Freeman that time. But it's going to be 2nd down. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's a less than...
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Daniil Hunter in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down.
I remember throughout my career here, defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. To throw is Ryan. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Stephen Weatherly. And defensively, that might just seal a Week 1 victory. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Throwing here, Cousins. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. From 3 yards out. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. Bailey now for the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is taken at his 4. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, Coach, what do you want to call? He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. One last shot for Ryan. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And with that, our journey begins, Charles. Week 1 in the books. Going to be a great season.
Oh, man, so much to look forward to. Isn't it nice to get a really good game right out of the gate? Preseason behind us. All these games count now, don't they?
Yeah, this is the exciting time with just 1 week gone and plenty of weeks to come. So for the Vikings, that'll be a happy locker room as they start this season 1-0. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll get it.
Honey, I dash, got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate. I'm cocky, I do my dance, jump in the stands. No man, the man, oh, deal with the hands. Thought he could guard me, I ruin they plans. I do what I want, they do what they can. Got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, honey, y'all dash, honey, y'all. Dash, honey, dash, honey, dash, honey, dash, yeah. They can't catch up cause they lacking the stamina. Way too advanced to be playing with amateurs. They on attack when they tackle like damager. They react and play it back on the camera. Hot boy, just consider me flammable. Sure shot, I got all the intangibles. Need a leash, I'm a beast, I'm an animal. Heat the competition up like a Hannibal. Know the game like I wrote up the manual. I do weekly what you do on the annual. MVP, that decision unanimous. randomest. Big dogs, I don't think they can handle this. Battlefield, it's just me and my warriors. Guaranteed we emerging victorious. Years, blood, sweat, tears is glorious. I remember when they always ignoring us. Dash, got it on, smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate. I'm cocky, I do my dance, jump in the stands. No man, man, oh, deal with the hands. Thought he could guard me, I ruin they plans. I do what I want, they do what they can. Got it on, smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash. They slept on the team that they owe me. I need a ring and a trophy. I say I'm the best cause I am. It's noted in keeping it low-key. I can call for the D like a turkey, or run straight through the D like a train. This year we ain't taking no losses. It's all about making the game. I hear a lot of trash talk. He call himself making a name. I put on the jets. The coach regret even letting them stay in the game. Team around took a tumble. Next time be humble. I'm the lion in the jungle. You just trying not to fumble. Rumble, young man, rumble. Never slip nor stumble. I take off, poof, magic. Now watch me juke through the traffic. Footwork fantastic. Dominating every facet. Treat the pocket like plastic. Here come the blitz, pass it. Got it on, smash. Put on the gas. I will not crash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash.
Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me what you wanna give. How much blood would you bleed? I'ma tell you I'm a misconceiver. I'm a believer. Someone better kick my fever. Tell me it's 100 degrees underneath my whole flesh. Everyone tells me it's a bit of a mess. I'ma tell the risk I was never